how celebrities don't sell their souls, they just share their vessels with these fallen angels. In the Bible, they call it fallen angels. In spirituality, we call it archons, higher dimensional beings that no longer have connection to source. And what there's different names people call it, but I'm gonna just get into it before I even start rambling. Okay, so what I mean by, so when they share their vessel with another being, they're breaking universal law. And by breaking universal law, you automatically lose your connection to source. You lose your soul, which is your living light. So it's seen as selling your soul because you did this for money, for fame. You let this other being you let these people who have control, or who help these other beings control our world, convince you that if you sign this contract, if you do this thing, you feel me, you're gonna have money, fame, fortune. And you did it. And mind you, okay, let's dive into it because okay, let me break it down. So everybody's journey is different, right? I feel like these artists who share their vessel, their self-esteem is there, but their confidence wasn't. When I mean self-esteem, is like they know the value of their work. They know where they were as a good artist. They know that they deserve the fame and fortune that they sold their soul for, or gave their soul in exchange for, right? But they didn't trust God's timing. And when I say they didn't trust God's timing, is God put it on your heart. Like, for example, Nicki Minaj, or who else? Nicki Minaj, or Cardi B, or let me think of somebody who was like clear as day they sold their soul. Or Young Boy, right? Their talent been there. You been the shit. You been there. Talent's been there, clear as day, right? But the worldwide fame they wanted was on God's timing. And some people don't wait for God's, well, I'm not saying wait, trust God's timing. Because when I say wait, it's not even waiting. It's that God knows that you need more life experiences. You need more knowledge gained. When he puts you on that worldwide stage, no beings can come and convince you or trick you out your spot, right? But some people let them. For example, I'll give you an example, right? No Name, or Saba Pivot, or Smino, or what's that one girl? She sang this song, I'm manifesting the life of my dreams, and I do believe. She's like, I don't want to mess it up. I think she's Indian, but if I'm wrong, I'm sorry. I don't want to mess her name up, but it's like, it's an Indian name, right? Even her, Ravina, that's her name, Ravina, Raavena. Yeah, that's her name, right? Her. These are artists who I feel like before, whether they were spiritual or not, right? They just followed their soul calling and trusted God's timing. They have music that they made 8, 9, 10 years ago going viral now today. I'm pretty sure there probably people coming with them with contracts to do this. We get you on this show. We'll get you this. We'll get you all the connections you need, right? You have to understand, archons control attention. They control celebrities. And you can say what you want, right? You know, for example, Mulatto. Mulatto's a great example, right? They use the celebrities to push a narrative. You know how you see a celebrity? To most of us, most people that I connect, most people that I see, it's like the celebrity getting pregnant, trying to push an agenda right now. They know that there's not enough people. The amount of people who are having babies is depleting by a lot. They don't got no fresh energy to feed off of. So they're trying to convince us and pushing narratives to convince people to have more babies by cutting off abortion and things like that, right? Everything is deeper, but they made us believe the 3D understanding to have us fight and give them more energy by arguing over shit. We're not gonna get into that right now, right? So Mulatto having a baby and Suki having a baby, these certain artists having a baby, right? That is mostly popular in the black community, right? To us, it's like, you were just talking about this and that in your songs, and now you over here having a baby with no nigga, whatever, right? But you gotta understand, to us, we're not gonna sit up and watch a celebrity and be like, I'm gonna do everything they do. Me, I'm not. I don't see them as gods. But there's some people out here who that archon, that they have them hooked. The person that the celebrity is sharing their vessel with has them hooked. Hooked. There are people, you know how celebrities have millions, billions of supporters, of fans. Out of those billions, we could say, let's say a celebrity has 1 billion fans, right? Worldwide. Out of a billion, a coolo 1 milli will not do everything they say, wear everything they do. I mean, will not do everything they say, wear everything they wear. You know what I'm saying? But the 99 million rest, they'll watch you get pregnant. I'm gonna go get pregnant too. They'll watch you get a new, I'm gonna go get that one you watch too. They could not have the means for it, but they will go and copy that celebrity. They have them hooked. That's what archons control: attention. They control your attention in different sectors, but like celebrity attention. So like, you know how some celebrities, for people who are not easily like glazed, it's like you're not conventionally pretty, your soul is not pretty, your actions is not pretty, but people will literally pass out in their presence. Pass out in their presence, cry, scream, act like they're dying just meeting a celebrity. What do you think that is? They're feeding off their fucking energy. Celebrities don't sell their souls, they share their vessel. Like, for example, Kevin Hart's. That's why they're able to still laugh and interact with their families and all that stuff. Because they don't have their soul no more, but they're still them. And what it means not to have your, like, okay, the beings they share their vessel with are beings from 7D, 8D, right? And they have different hierarchies to them. Since these are fallen angels, meaning they ascended, they passed 3D, 4D, 5D, 6D, 7D, ascended, right? Got to that level and broke universal law or did whatever they did in their dimension and lost their soul, their living light, their connection to source, creator who lives in a 13D, God. Your soul, your living light is like a tether that ties you to the 13D, creator of all of everything. We're all God's creation, experiencing God's creation. Once you break universal law, you lose your soul. You lose your living light. You lose your tether. And you're trapped in whatever dimension you are. You're trapped there, meaning you cannot ascend. So they come to lower dimensions with the knowledge they have from their high dimensions, and they feel superior. They feel like they should be superior. They feel like they should be praised like gods. Because we're from the 7D. Yeah, we know about technology, we know about math, we know about soul. We know how to integrate, and they give us the tools and stuff to recreate what they want to use to control us in different sectors. There's different sectors, okay? So I made a mess. So when you see a celebrity, instead of they sold their soul, it's that they're sharing their vessel. When they're sharing their vessel, when they're performing, when they're acting from the authenticity that God gave them to get them that star power. When people are loving them and giving them its attention and the energy of admiration, of love for your art, since they're sharing their vessel, that entity that shares their vessel is feeding off the energy. That's what the contract does. You get money, you get the status, but we get the energy. It's in every fucking sector. Same thing with sex. We'll give you the money, we'll give you the access, but we get the energy. Same thing with news. Same thing with the Jews. We'll give you the money, give you the access. We get the energy. Same thing with the military. We'll give you the money, we'll give you the access. We get the energy. These different beings don't fuck with each other. They don't fuck with each other. The Nazi war was proof they don't fuck with each other. There was a war. We're just casualties in their whole game of their end goal, which is to be able to have their ego, have their sense of hierarchy, and still have a soul. That's their end goal. They know you can, so they're trying to find a way to tweak it by using this as a fucking petri dish and a studying ground. But those are all different topics. I'm gonna make different videos about. I'm gonna have to dive deeper into about. But yeah, celebrities don't sell their souls, they share their vessel, which by universal law makes them lose their soul. So that's why I think I said this already, but like in history, you know how some people, when they say they die, they go to a void. When you don't have a soul, and when you don't have a soul and you're still tied to a 3D matter, when you leave that 3D vessel, you go into a void. There's no reincarnation for you. You have no soul. You cannot enter reincarnation without a soul. You go into a void where you're just sitting there in darkness with all you did. Yeah. That's why Madonna's been here for so long. And so Trump looked like he's been in history a couple times. Okay, a lot of these higher people, even these old white people we see who are on the boards of schools, who are on the boards of military, who are on the boards of certain things, they are descendants of the humans who chose to share their vessels with these other beings. And it's always white fucking people. Race does not matter when it comes to this topic at all. It doesn't. But when we tie into when it came to a 3D human and who allowed these other beings to come on this earth and have access to do any motherfucking thing, it was white people. They try to go to the Egyptians. They try to go to the Mayans. They try to go to the natives. They try to go to the Africans. Look in history. Look up in history, bitch. Look up in history. They were visited by these other beings in different ways. The only people who said yes to them was white people. When Egyptians said yes to them, they regretted it and betrayed them. They betrayed them. They betrayed the ETs. They betrayed the Draconians. But when the Draconians went to white people said sure. Actually, this is one lady, I'm gonna find her name. I wrote her name down. Actually, this bitch sat up there and channeled. This bitch sat up there and used her spiritual gifts and channeled them motherfuckers. Channel. What y'all need to help? What I need to create to help y'all come into our world? She channeled the motherfuckers. Those 13 keys. Everything's interconnected, baby, but I'm really into it right now. Okay, just know that celebrities, they're the Arconian sector. The attention, the admiration, they feed off that energy right there. So you can look at a celebrity and be like, why people believe what they say? Or you look at them and think they're doing crazy stuff or whatever. There's somebody out there who does not have a sense of self, who their soul can be controlled by literally anybody, anything. Who looks at a celebrity and follows every single thing. Who is a constant source for that Arconian energy to siphon their energy. That Arconian being to siphon their energy. Okay, all I do is siphon your energy in different ways. That's what our world is meant to. That's what our world is built on. Different ways and different ways for us to not only give them access to our energy, because the devil cannot control your vessel unless you allow him to. It's the devil's playground, but the devil doesn't have these energies that live in between our world, in between what the air energy we cannot see. They cannot attach onto your vessel. They cannot feed off your vessel unless you give them access. You give them access by your thoughts, by your emotions, by your frequency, by what you give your attention to. Okay? That's all I gotta say. Bye, y'all.
Quite like you.